Welcome to the Elite Life with Trisha and Kylee. This is where we'll teach you how to develop grit, give yourself grace, and succeed in real estate. So let's dive in.
Welcome back to another episode of the Elite Life podcast, where we bring you the latest and greatest strategies to level up your life. I'm Kylee, aka K Kizzle.
And I'm Trisha, and we're your hosts, and we're here to help you achieve your best self in every aspect of life. Today, we're diving into a topic that's on everybody's mind as we head in the new year, as it always is.
That's right. We were just talking about this before we started the recording, and New Year's resolutions often include, health goals, fitness goals, and one common resolution is to start a diet. And as we know, I'm pretty sure we've talked about last year, most people fall off of their diets by like January 3rd.
Yeah, it's bad. I think the statistic was like 87% don't make it to like the 8th day of their diet.
Yeah, which sucks because you always have the best intentions. And so if you're wondering how you can make sure that you stay on track and not constantly feel like, you're hungry while you're dieting, you're in the right place, because today we are going to break down 7 fantastic strategies to help you beat those diet-induced hunger pangs and keep you from dying on a diet. Yeah, like what I did there. You like that?
I realized when I was reading this that I have an aversion to the word diet. Like when we got into Beachbody and things like that, we always talked about our food plan or our nutrition plan.
Yeah, they took the word diet right out of there because the word die is in diet.
Yeah, and I think it just has a very negative connotation.
It does.
So when you think of it more along the lines of I'm going to make a food plan and follow it, that feels better than saying I'm going on a diet. So anyways, strategy number 1 is to eat filling foods. So your food choices play a huge role in managing your hunger. And we were talking about this a little bit in our 75 Hard group chat about what types of foods really fill you up. So you want to think of foods that take up a lot of space but are lower in calories. So like vegetables, fruits, lean proteins. I know my advice was to eat more chicken because I noticed like if I eat a big piece of chicken, I am not hungry. Whereas I could eat a bag of granola and still be like, oh, I'll just keep munching on this. So you got to eat foods that in terms of quantity help you feel fuller longer.
Yeah, I noticed this too when I am conscious of what I'm putting in my body, and I am eating the Greek yogurt, and I am eating a banana. Man, apples save my tail. Every time I'm in the car and I'm doing those 4-hour showing blocks, I used to do like granola bars or like the fruit and grain bars, and those like get really acidic in my stomach. And now I just find I love the Honeycrisp apples and Tenutas. Shout out to Waterford Tenutas. They are an awesome place to shop for groceries. But when I have an apple, it always surprises me at how long I can stay full on just one like small or medium-sized apple. It's amazing. And so for anybody who's listening, if you are like me and you just want to eat burritos every day, because that's how I would love to live my life, or maybe you don't have the time to do the research, we're going to break it down a little bit further. My favorite is like leafy greens. I like kale, I like spinach, bok choy, lettuce. These are all incredibly like high volume foods. And one thing I like to do is take some lettuce and spinach. And I'm not a salad person. I'm not a giant fan of cold food now that I think about it. Do you like cold food a lot? I like cold pizza.
I do like to eat like yogurt. I go back and forth with salads. So I ate a lot of salads and then I refused to eat any salads. And now I had
I've seen you eat steak salad.
Yeah, I do get steak salad. That's like my go-to at restaurants is steak salad.
I like to mix like the protein in with it. That's one thing that I've learned is if I am having to do more leafy greens and stuff, if I'm throwing in some chicken, some ground turkey, or or I really love feta cheese. I'm not 100% sure how healthy that actually is. But I can, if I've got good ingredients on top, I can get away with like a light vinaigrette that's not too unhealthy, and I'm happy and I'm full. There's a great number of meals that you can make that are low calorie by just replacing some nutrient dense ingredients with leafy greens. You can swap out rice and sushi for spinach or cucumber. Ooh, I love cucumber.
Yeah.
That's my new thing right now. I was really into carrots and now I'm kind of sick of them. I think everybody goes through that though. When you find something you like and you're like, this is healthy, so binge, and now I'm sick of it.
Yeah, I think for the first 8 years that I was beach
First 8 years, that's
I always had a bag of baby carrots and a bag of cucumbers every day of my life for all of those years. And now, like, every once in a while I'll buy them, like, oh yeah, I'm gonna eat and I never do because I think I
end up feeding him to our
day.
dog because he likes carrots. One recipe that I do love is making nachos with bell peppers instead of chips. I like that. And then you bake it and it's super, super juicy. It's really good. The other thing that I always forget that I really enjoy, because I don't eat it a lot because tuna's not my super favorite, but I like mixing up a batch of tuna and using the bell peppers, not green peppers, but like the red and orange and yellow to scoop that up. And that replaces using a wrap or having to put it in a salad or something like that.
Yeah, I like that. Another thing we talked about was cauliflower. So cauliflower is super versatile. Actually, yesterday Dave made me breakfast for dinner, and I thought because he was like, "What do you want to eat?" And I was like, "I've been eating a lot of eggs lately. I really have been on like an egg thing." And I thought he goes, "Well, how are the hash browns?" I'm like, "They're kind of different consistency." And he's like, "They're cauliflower." And I was like, "Oh, okay," because I was like, "That's weird that he even made me a hash brown because that's not something I will usually eat," but they were cauliflower hash browns that I had bought. So
I will tell you, Mama Higgins has done some amazing things with cauliflower. She uses it to make bread because she's gluten-free and has all of these things going on. So she uses a lot of cauliflower to make bread, rice, things like that, just to substitute those carbs. And it's good business.
Yeah,
it is.
I'll often find them when I'm going through my Kroger app, and then I'll put them in the cart, and then I just forget that I put them in the cart until I go through and find them in the freezer. So berries and watermelon are also on our list. Berries are another one where I buy bags of the frozen berries so that they stay for longer.
And you throw them in your Shakeology too.
I do, yeah.
I like that. I've been making the girls, my heart gets so filled when my good examples are passed on and the girls really pick that up because I've gotten them into plain Greek yogurt with berries and just a little bit of orange juice just to kind of get a little swish going on so it's not too thick. And most mornings, that's what Casey wants for breakfast. She wants to have a smoothie.
Nice.
And I'm like, yes, for the win. And then obviously, not to forget protein, real quick, that's obviously just like meat and things, but I really love cottage cheese.
Yeah. I like cottage cheese and I forget about it a lot.
It's not something like most people are like, ugh, cottage cheese. But here's my thing. I do not like small curd cottage cheese. I like the big chunks of cheese.
All right. Well, let's move on to strategy number 2. We still
fiber is your friend. Yes. Yay, fiber.
Yeah, fiber is like the secret weapon to fight against hunger, and not only helps you with your digestion, but it keeps you feeling full. So you want to aim for about 14 grams of fiber for every 1,000 calories you consume. And this consistency can help reduce weight fluctuations too. So you want to have that fiber and make sure that it's regularly in your diet.
When we started Beachbody, it always surprised me, like the foods that are like high in fiber, like was it apples and pears and stuff like that?
Apples, broccoli.
Because that was one thing like my doctor was like, you really need some more of. And when I think fiber, I think shredded wheat and oatmeal and stuff like that. and it's apples and pears and broccoli.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. And then strategy number 3 is to find your meal sweet spot. So having a regular meal schedule and avoiding too many meals is a game changer. When you eat haphazardly or you have very small meals, it can lead to increased hunger. And another thing that we were talking about when we were reading the book Bright Line Eating, me and Nicole read Bright Line Eating, and she talks about how like you have these bright lines, these decisions you've made. So that book is all about getting rid of sugar and flour in your diet completely. Ooh. And only eating 3 times a day. So you eat breakfast, you eat lunch, you eat dinner. I always eat like that. I have always ate like that. But when I was doing Beachbody, they had you integrate snacks. Yeah. Now, what I notice happens, and this is what she talks about in Bright Line Eating, is there's people whose brains are like mine and like Nicole's, where we get obsessive about things in our brain. So if I have to eat 5 different meals, I'm going to be thinking about food all day long because it's like, oh, what's the next meal that I'm having? When is the next meal that I'm having? Did I pack my meals? What if I forget my meals? It's not necessarily that I'm more hungry or less hungry. It's just what am I focusing on?
Yeah, that's a good point. And I know that you did the 9-week or 8-week Control Freak where like, isn't that the program you had through Beachbody where you ate specific things at specific times?
Yeah. Well,
didn't that drive you bananas? Isn't that the one that where you learned how to peel an egg?
Yeah, while I'm driving, yes. I always would make hard-boiled eggs as part of my
Those are so easy, though. I always forget. That's another one I forget about is, like, they're super easy to make. They keep for a couple days in the fridge, and they're terrible by themselves, but you throw some Taco Bell hot sauce packets on those, and you're in, man.
I put mustard on them.
Gross.
It's the exact same as when you have deviled eggs.
Lies, because you're missing the mayonnaise.
Well, I mean,
not mayonnaise, because that's gross. Grandma made deviled eggs with mayonnaise and brought them to Easter once. And my mom, we were a Miracle Whip family. And so I took a bite and I was like, oh, these are gross. And Grandma was like, what's wrong with them? I made those. And I was like, you made these with mayonnaise. She's like, you don't know. And I'm like, yes, I do, because I grew up not being a Miracle Whip people know what I'm talking about, okay?
I am a Miracle Whip person. But my mom always had to get both because my sister Alana likes mayonnaise and I like Miracle Whip.
Alana's gross.
We're a family divided. So all right, you got strategy 4.
Okay, so number 4 is taking your time. Is that where we're at? Yes. Mm-hmm. This is my biggest downfall because I personally eat like I just got out of prison.
Oh, me too.
Everything. And I think it's the way that we grew up, right? Where either you lived in a really busy household or there was only so much spaghetti in that pot. If you didn't eat like you just got out of prison, you might not get seconds and you're going to go to bed with, with some hunger pangs going on. But I always eat like this. And so it's a very conscious thing for me that I actually have to focus on while I'm eating of just like slowing down. And a lot of times it is because I like my food so much that I'm just like, and then I don't get to savor it and enjoy it. And before I know it, I've eaten this plate of food that I probably could have gotten away with eating half and I'm over full and now I don't feel good.
I do that all the time. My brother, and it might be from growing up because I notice like all of us do it. Like my brother constantly, his stories will be like, I ate myself sick. And then I'll catch myself like I have this bowl of food. I'm full halfway through, but there's a comedian that's like, the meal isn't over when I'm full. The meal's over when I hate myself. And like, that is a downfall that I have. Like if I have a bowl of food, I need to finish that bowl of food.
That's why I don't let Ryan plate me up anymore.
Yeah.
Because he, he plates everybody with so much food. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, I can always go back for more.
Yeah.
So give me less.
Yes, please.
Right. Exactly.
I need about half of that.
You need to definitely give your body time to realize that it's full. And I'll never forget when we were planning our 75 hard program for the beginning of the year, you told me that story of I love this story. I'll never forget it. When you and Dave did it and you guys went to a restaurant or something and he ordered like ribs and coney dogs and macaroni and cheese and you're over there with your steak salad and you're like, what the heck is he doing? And he told you that his meal plan was to stop eating when he was full. And I vibe with that.
It was his birthday.
I got you, Dave. I got you.
It was his birthday and he orders nachos or like nacho fries for an appetizer.
You're like, that is not a 75 hard
full
program.
Plate of ribs and then cake for dessert. And like when the cake came, that was where I was just like, what meal plan are you following? And he's like, the one where I just stop when I'm done. And I'm like, oh, it's valid. He like looked at me, is like, because he had lost like 8 pounds and I had lost like 1.2.
You know, that's also not fair, is the men lose it so much easier a lot of times than we do. So
yeah, but you know, slowing down helps so that you feel when you're full, and then you're eating less because you're like, oh, I'm full, right?
Yeah.
So strategy.
And there's leftovers.
Right.
Boom. Yeah.
Strategy number 5 is to increase your activity. So it seems like a no-brainer, but it can be a distraction from hunger and help you to feel like you're full for longer. So multiple purposes with that. And then it fills your time between meals.
Yeah.
A lot of times, especially right now when people are working from home or they're homeschooling or both, they're just home all the time, you're more likely to just be snacking, you know, because you're just not paying attention.
I am definitely a bored eater. I will, when there's nothing going on and like I'm not busy, I will find things to snack on and they're not healthy at all. It's usually like, oh, I'm going to cruise by the pantry and grab a handful of cereal and shove it in my face hole and carry on. One thing that I was doing for a while that I fell off of was when I was hungry late at night, because that's my downfall. I'm a serial killer. I do all of my best work in the evening time after my kids go to bed. And so one thing I was trying to remember is every time I went to open the pantry, I would look at everything and then I would go in the living room and I would do some crunches or some sit-ups or some push-ups or some kind of activity. And then I would guzzle a bunch of water. And then if I was still hungry, I would just go to bed. I took your advice. Just go to bed.
Dude, I wish I could take my own advice. I also am always eating at night. It's like, and you know why? We've had this episode before and talked about it. It's your willpower. You start the day with so many chemicals in your brain for willpower and you burn those. So especially if you're on social media all day, what you don't realize is you're constantly making decisions. And when you have made all of those decisions all day, or you're somebody like us who makes probably 4 times the decisions of a normal human being, and is on social media, it's actual science. You run out of the chemicals for willpower. So that's why we're eating at night, because we have no more willpower left because we spent it all.
So what you're saying is that it's not my fault. I'm not culpable. It's me and the problems.
All right. Strategy number 6, do not leave your water bottle at home. If you see me on YouTube, you know I always have my water bottle. This is one where I thrive. I've already said all the ones where I suck. I
suck at water, which seems silly. And we've had these conversations with people before of like, it's water. Your body needs it.
Yeah.
It shouldn't be that difficult for you to figure out how to. That's where I always fail 75 hard, is that gallon of water. It's like 11.59 and I'm like, chug, 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 chug.
I know. I drink it all day long. So I am really good there. But especially if you're in a calorie deficit, it's really vital to stay hydrated. Sometimes thirst can be confused with hunger. You're probably just thirsty. They always say, like, if you think you're hungry, you just drink some water. So having a glass of water before each meal can help you feel fuller longer. I always have a water bottle.
You do
all the time.
I like when we do 75 hard and you have that giant gallon. It's like a vase that you just carry around on your head and you just have it there. But there are also strategies to drinking the water as well that I've noticed. So even though you carry that big gallon of water around, you don't usually drink directly out of that gallon. You usually pour it into something that mentally looks more manageable, because when you're looking at all of this water that you need to drink and it's all in one spot, you're like, OMG, how am I going to do that? And then you pour it into a shaker and you're like, this I can do. I can bang out this shaker. the shaker.
Yeah.
In an hour.
Last tip, number 7, keep yourself busy. If your mind is solely focused on your hunger and your next meal, you'll just make the hunger worse. Like I said, where your focus goes, your energy flows. So on weekends, when it's tough to stay on track, find a hobby or a project to work on. The busier you are, the better you'll be at handling those diet-induced hunger pains, because again, you may not be hungry. You're just bored. You're just thirsty. You're just out of willpower and tired.
Yeah.
Just go to bed.
Just go to bed. And that's it. Mic drop. That's a wrap for us, folks. So we hope that you found these helpful, these strategies, these tips. Maybe you've heard some of these things before, but I know that there's plenty of times where I've heard something over and over, and then finally that last moment it clicks and it's like, okay, this makes sense. I can do this. I can do it. If you need support, we're super happy to help you. Reach out to us on Facebook. You can find Trisha. You can find me. I'm under KB, KAYBEE. And you can email us, info@mystarsacademy.com. We'd love to hear from you and help you. If you have any tips or tricks that have really, really improved your ability to get through handling a meal plan, please share. Share with the class.
Yes. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button wherever you are so you don't miss a single episode of the Elite Life podcast, because we drop fresh episodes every Thursday.
Yeah. Thanks for joining us today, Elite Lifers. Don't forget everything that Trisha just said. Please do that. And also share the show. We can't grow if you don't share the show. So we're super grateful for all the help that you guys have given us in sharing the show and subscribing and showing us love and getting these life hacks out to your friends and family, because you never know who might be struggling with something, and you can just be that shining light in their life by just hitting that share button.
Bye.
We thank you so much for joining us today on the Elite Life with Trish and Kylee. Be sure to share the episode with a friend so we can continue bringing you more great tips on grit, grace, and real estate. You can also connect with us on Instagram, Facebook. We hope the ideas we share continue to help you build an empire and leave a legacy.